going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. Yep, we're starting off today's episode over here at the main zoo building because our project for today is me probably going to end up dying if I don't get out of this view. Okay, we're now in a map. Yeah, the project today is going to be a main zoo project, and the one that our selector chose for us was the zombie villager. Hello, kitty. And I've sort of had an idea of how I want to do it, but I need to find an appropriate area to do it in. Come here, kitty. Come here. It's very hard to play in third person view. It's fun to fly around though, because you get to see yourself do that like twisty maneuver. So what I'm thinking is that we need to find a decent area, but because it's going to be sort of like horror-ish themed, which is really bad timing, because if I had actually done my episodes and released them sort of in time frame, because I've not edited or released an episode for about 2 to 3 weeks now, if I actually released episodes in time with me recording them, this would be perfectly timed for the Halloween period. But with my releasing schedule, this is probably going to come out closer to Christmas than it's Halloween, so it's just going to be something that we're going to have to grin and bear. I did not pick the mob that we're going to be dealt with on today's episode, so it's not exactly something I had put a lot of forethought or plan into. Now, because it is going to be a little bit horror-ish themed, I'm thinking of placing it somewhere in the vicinity near Cloud's witch enclosure. But I don't want it so close that it's going to intersect with the cat, because that would sort of mix themes, sort of, a little bit. Right, we've got the glow squid enclosure, which is just behind me. I'm not sure if I've shown you guys the glow squid enclosure yet or not. Is that just this way? That's the witch enclosure. Glow squid, where are you? Okay, you're over here. Yeah, this is the one that I think Cloud's last one was. I think it was this one, which is his last one. Like, this is definitely a Cloud build, but I don't know if this is the last one he'd done or not. And for some reason, all the glow squids are sort of slowly work their way from all the way around to all the way onto this side. But this one, I really do like the look of the block palettes. Very sort of nice and tidy. The only thing that I would possibly change slightly is just a little variation in the floor, but I still think it blends really nicely, and I like the greens and the greys, and it goes really well with the dark prismarine. But yeah, we want to find somewhere for our zombie villager enclosure, and I've not actually laid out how I want it. I've just got a general idea of how I want to design it and build it, but I need to know the terrain that I'm dealing with beforehand, which means clearing out a bunch of area beforehand in order to expose said terrain. And really, guys, pillagers are somewhere over here. Where are you? I think they're over there somewhere. Ah, they can suck it. Now we want to maybe in this area here, and then we could do a pathway that sort of wraps around from here around what I want to build and join the pathway with the witches, and then we could probably have like another path that goes off here to a different enclosure. That way it will lead us with like a pretty large area, but the thing about it is that I do want the area sort of surrounded by jungle trees, so I want it to be its own like little standalone thing, and it's going to take quite a large footprint. So I need to make sure that I don't clear too large of an area, but I do like the sort of terrain in this sort of vicinity here, in between this pathway before we get to the turtle enclosure, and before we start hitting the back end of the witch one. So yeah, I think if we just start clearing a whole bunch of terrain around this giant gaping hole, which obviously we are going to have to patch in. Ow. And you know what, let's get our actual HUD back, because otherwise I will end up killing myself. But yeah, let's jump into a time lapse of me clearing out a bunch of this area, so that way I can sort of determine exactly what area we are working with. And it's going to get to night time. Let's quickly throw a bed down. Let's put it precariously on this tree. Yeah, so let's jump into a time lapse, and I'll catch you after I've cleared a big enough area for what I assume I'm going to need for this project.
I'm a zombie, life is lonely. I stroll through the night, hoping somebody might hold me closely, grow to know me. Will you be my bro, please? Can I call you homie? Why, hi, fancy meeting you. What a great delight. Nice. Why are the faces nice surprise design about so late at night. In case you'd like to join me, I'm about to take a hike. Wait, why are you heading off so quick without saying goodnight? My etiquette's refined, sensitive and kind. No resemblance to the lies, I'm a gentleman defined. But until the sun rises, you hole up in your house and quarantine yourself. No, I'm not horrid for your health. I'm only waiting in the doorway. When are you coming out? I want to play chase, gonna follow you to hell. I'm gonna follow you, I'm gonna follow you, I'm gonna follow you whether or not you want me to. I'm gonna follow you, I'm gonna follow you, I'm gonna follow you forever, what you gonna do? I'm a zombie, polite and unimposing. I've been wrongly described as revolting, and quite frankly, I find that insulting. I'm a nice girl who happens to be molding. Am I shallow? Hello, I'm attracted to your brain. Something tells me they'll be exactly to my taste. That really ain't vanilla, remaking thriller. Rip off your limbs and make a body pillar. Real lady killer. Stuff on my shopping list isn't often fresh, but I've got the best recipe for spuds and some rotten flesh. Let's watch a box set, Netflix and kill. Oh, what a mess. I'm guessing ketchup was spilled. Come back! I'm gonna follow you, I'm gonna follow you, I'm gonna follow you whether or not you want me to. I'm gonna follow you, I'm gonna follow you, gonna follow you forever, what you gonna do? I'm a zombie, I want you to love me. I've waited for you so long and now I'm kind of hungry. You look lovely, succulently scrummy. I need you inside me, satisfy my tummy. You can hear me coming through the walls all muffled. How we gonna scuffle then, sword or knuckles? I see you punch trees, no wonder Steve's so supple. Call me Queen Aggie, can I squeeze those muscles? Me so subtle, please don't struggle. You got it modeled, I'm not looking for trouble. Just wanna cuddle, I'm a puzzle why I get rebuttals when I try to nuzzle and snuggle. Now come on, let my brothers join the huddle. We're gonna follow you, we're gonna follow you, we're gonna follow you whether or not you want us to. We're gonna follow you, we're gonna follow you, gonna follow you forever, what you gonna do? We are slowly decomposing. Our clothes are holding our bowels and our bones in bones that are slathered in guacamole. One day I'll be a skeleton, till then we're getting cozy. What force brought us here though? Was it not your George Romero? We're not so sure, but the more you avoid us, the more that we're sure that you'll join us. Join us! The zombie nation keeps increasing.
Alright, so quite a bit more work's being done after that end of the time lapse. And a big thank you to Clowd, who actually came and he actually helped me build the entire town. And then I came on the following day and done the rest of the little bits and pieces, like the pathways and the sort of busted down trees and surrounding it with the mangrove trees. Now, what I have managed to do is obviously the pathways are looking a lot more sort of dark themed. So we've got a lot more of the spruce bushes rather than the jungle leaves. And we've got spruce wood lighting instead of the jungle lanterns that we've got on the other pathways. And then I used some assets of some broken down old pine trees, whack some cobwebs, some rooted dirt, just to make them look a little bit more in themed with our zombie village. And I'm quite happy with the way it's come out, and the way that the mangrove trees actually work on the outer edges to sort of make it feel a lot more contained, because it makes the jungle feel like a lot more condensed. What is that? Zombie, don't move off this one. Yeah, me and Cloud was messing around trying to figure out ways of keeping zombies in place if we wanted them out in the open. Because we want them to be able to sort of like track the player, but obviously not attack the player, but also within the confines of an area that they won't end up burning in sunlight. So we were trying a lot of different techniques, but we found quite a few of them, like the old carpet technique of stacking 3 or 4 carpets up on the ground. It doesn't seem to stop them from walking over it after in my testing for some reason. I don't know if it's because of the zombie villager sort of AI now tracks over them and just walks forward regardless. Unless it has to be wider than like a 1 block thickness. That could well be it. But nevertheless, we are now going to have to move on. Like, we've got a bunch of buildings. We've got the... This is going to be the weapon and toolsmith. We've got the armor smith up there. And probably the leather worker. That is just a standard house. Over here, we've got the library. So we're going to have the librarian villager in here. Probably behind this section here, we're going to put like a little desk thing in here. This was just an interior that I whacked full of books. And then we've got the farming building, so we'll probably have like a farmer outside over here, which is where we was testing the azalea bushes technique. So we'll probably have one in there and maybe a couple of normal ones in here, or another couple more farmers, maybe another farmer in that building. What other ones? Oh yeah, we've got the wizard's tower over here. Like, the interiors took quite a long time and it's quite a variety of blocks, but I think it suits the sort of theme of the builds that we're going for. So we've got our little area here that we're going to have our cleric zombie villager in. And then the staircase actually goes up to another section up here. We are going to have to do something about the lighting, because I've tried to get rid of as many torches as I possibly could. So, moving on to actually getting the zombie villagers here. What we have done is, if we go into free cam, there is a pathway now dug out behind here, which goes all the way down, and I've branched into around about 10 different strip mines, because this is a jungle area and we've all sort of built around here. The strip mines actually run from like cloud space and from clouds to sides, and yeah, it's like a massive long circle of strip mines that I've sort of jumped into. And Sai has actually got a villager breeder underneath her actual base, so we're going to be utilizing that. And rather than, what I was going to do is just transport a couple of them and then have a villager breeder over at the actual zombie village, I thought that we can just do the conversions and stuff over here and then transport them by minecart over, because she's actually got a zombie set up over here as well. So if we give them their profession, oh god, they're so loud over here. So we've got the zombie dude over here, and if we have their professions what would be set before they go under here to get converted, they'll be converted into that villager type, and then we can sort of transport them. I think, which way is it? Is it this way that I dug? Yeah, this way. So we need to run a track that goes all the way from there. Oh my god, it's going to take some work. So what I need to actually do is go back to my base, unless Sai has like a ridiculous amount of actual minecart tracks. Have you, Sai? Is that something that you've got? Is this something that we're able to do over here? If she has, I have no idea where it would be. Oh, probably under the tracks. 8. I don't think that's going to cut it. Yeah, I'm going to go back to base, grab a bunch of track, run that track and set up the areas where I actually want the zombie villagers to go. And then when I am ready to start converting the first couple, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Oh, hello. Very sure, dude. Jukebox, observer, ancient debris, all our mini blocks. We've really need to start like collecting them at some point, but that's going to be for another day. Yeah, I'm going to run that track and get the places ready for where I want the villagers to be. So when I'm ready to start moving them, then I will bring you back. Can we go down into my base, please? Is this something that I can do? Okay, yeah, I'll catch you back into it. Alright, so I think I've managed to get everything in place. I've got the rail all laid over to that area, not specifically to the points where I want the villager zombies to be. What we are going to want is... it's not in there. We have got one in here actually. Because we're going to want them to be the correct profession before they get converted. But I don't know, like I'm not 100% sure how this actually works, to be honest with you. Can we like get one of you? So he can stop there. If we put that there, he will then become a farmer. If we then make him get infected, will he? Oh, we are going to need some redstone torches. Actually, we can just use a lever, can't we? Do that. So if he now gets attacked, so he is now a villager zombie farmer. What we are also going to need, oh my god, I'm so not prepared. We want the book one because we've got some name tags. And then we're going to want, say, just a bunch of these. I was thinking about naming them individually, but I may do that after. For now, I just want to make sure that we can actually get them in place the way that we want them to be. Oh my god. We are going to need util one out anyway. So we're going to want crafting bench. Oh, we've got a crafting bench just there. You, anvil. I should really put anvils in this box because I'm constantly needing them. Zombie villager. Okie dokes. So, can we name this guy? I don't know. Right, if we just break you, do that, and then we can send him on his way. We can follow along. Hopefully he goes all the way there without bouncing back. And then we've got it just running all the way over to the actual zombie village. And then I've just got a little stone platform where he sits with a little sort of cover above his head to prevent him from burning. But I was meant to grab blocks, but I guess we could grab some blocks from our inventory. But I've left my rail there as well. I think I've got a rail box inside my ender chest anyway, so I think we should be okay. Oh my god, I hate being so unprepared sometimes. But yeah, run all the powered rail there. It didn't actually take that long. I had a bunch of powered rail back at base because I am in the process of running more rail lines from our main zoo building to very, very far away places. Like, I mean, the last one I done, it was like 3.5 shulkers worth of powered rail I had to use. So I've had a lot of AFK sessions at the gold farm in order to get the gold necessary for running the powered rails. And I've had the bot AFK at the singular witch farm for quite a few days to get the redstone in order to make powered rails as well. Also done quite a few mining runs because I wanted to top up our diamond supply for duplicating the armor trims. So yeah, it's costing quite a lot of diamonds, and it's something that I tend to do when I'm sort of just want some chill time and I don't really fancy recording. I'll tend to go resource gathering of some kind, which is always handy, especially when you need diamonds. Around this area, because this is the old generation, we still get diamonds and stuff at like layer normal 12, like Y12, rather than Y minus 54. So I've got like a 6 unit tunnel bore, which I'm fairly sure I built in one of my episodes quite a while back, and every now and again I'll go over there and use that, and I'll gather up like a whole bunch of diamonds, redstone, lapis, and all the other goodies that come along with it. Okay, so our zombie villager is almost at his destination. No, please don't die. Okay, he's on 12 hit points, and so we clearly didn't make that big enough. Fantastic. So what we are going to want to do is we are going to want some blocks. Going to want some easy to break blocks, preferably. What have we got? Nope. You know, I think we're just going to have to use wood for the time being. Let's go with jungle, because jungle's always easy to get. We are going to want one still left. Do this. So what we are going to now want to do is grab you, bring you around to here, and then up. Wrap you around. Let's just bring you up again. Awesome. And then bring you around to here. And we're going to want the first one to actually drop into here. Pick our glass up. And then do that just so we can place our glass again. And then we're going to want to do a little cover so he just doesn't burn. We have got something all the way up there in the sky. I've got a couple of them because there's going to be another one outside just over there, which means I had to go up. I think it's at like max build limit. I've done like a little 3x3 just to stop the zombie villagers from burning in the daylight. Then let's just do one of these. I could quite easily just wait till night time, which is what I'll probably end up doing for the majority of them. Come on. Ow. Asshole. Okay, then we're going to want to grab rail. Thank you. And I left my redstone box. That's fantastic. So we're using levers apparently. And we're going to want normal rail. Okay, so let's grab you. And then you. Like a more prepared person would actually have this all done before I decided to bring you back, but you know what, you can just watch the sort of teething process that I tend to have to go through. Okay, so I'm going to want that to stop him from veering off anywhere else. And then we're obviously going to want some of these to power it. And then one in this corner. One over here. No kidding. And then we're going to want one just over here. Okay, let's grab you. Can we do this? There we go. Hopefully it doesn't burn at any point. Okay, so he's dropped down in his little spot. And then we're going to want to grab our glass pane, put it above his head. And then let's break this. Like he shouldn't burn because we've got that little shield cover above him. But then we're also going to want to break these crops quickly. Because these guys have a habit of spouting out in one of the corners if you try to break them in a minecart. Can we get the hitboxes? Because we're going to have to try to get this minecart out now. Ah, where'd he go? Okay. I have no idea where he's gone. How is that? Where? I can hear him. Have I? What? Okay, I can definitely hear him, but I have no idea where he is. Is that just like a graphical thing? Is he actually here, but I just can't... Okay, so he is actually here. If I like reload... nope, that's spectator. F3R. What is the reload? You know what? Do one of these. And... okay, so he is here. Oh, he's got some seeds as well. Fantastic. That was so weird. I've never had that happen before. Ow, stop hitting me. Okay, I'm going to do that. That. Break you. That. Do this. And then we can replant our... Ow. Dude, you're going to have to start behaving. And replant our crops. And that's our first zombie villager in place. Happy days. And that way they can still track you if you're over here visiting them. yeah, quite happy with that. So we're going to want to get like another one in standing there, probably another farmer, and then another farmer over here in this building, which I've set up a place just over here. And yeah, there's going to be quite a few, so it's going to be quite a lengthy process that I'm going to have to do. And because this video is already sort of ticking along as it is, we've probably well gone past the 20-minute mark. What we are going to do is just have a big jump cut of me having done all of this, because it's going to take at least I reckon 2 or 3 hours doing this. But I've got some programs that I can watch while doing it, and I don't want you to have to watch me tediously do every single one of them. So I'll catch you back after I put them all in place. Alright then guys, so I would like to be able to tell you that it went all smoothly without any hitches, but in true Joyous fashion, there was one issue after another that I sort of encountered whilst doing it. First of all, when I first sent the minecart back, it accidentally picked up Size Zombie and brought her zombie all the way over here. So then I had to try and get him back, and he's got a flame sword, so he killed me. Then I managed to finally get him back in place, and then I had a few instances where I forgot to cover up the villagers and they burnt to death, and then a few more instances where I thought they were being contained in certain areas, but I hadn't properly patched it in with either panes of glass, or fences in the correct position, so they started wandering and getting attacked. Clowd did actually come over and help me again. Well, he tried to help me as much as he could, but when you're dealing with moving one by one, I really should have just built a villager breeder over here. It would have saved a lot of back and forth. So yeah, that's a little bit my bad. But what we can do is I'll give you a walkthrough of how the exhibit, or is it exhibit or enclosure? I wouldn't really say this is an enclosure though, is it? Because it's very open. So we've got a couple of houses here. We've got a standard house up on the right. We go up here, we should have, I do believe, just the one villager, which is a bog standard villager without, or zombie villager without any professions. Let me close him back in. And then we should have 2 of them over in this building, which is, I do believe, the armor smith and the leather worker. So we've got our little armor smith over there, he's holding a piece of iron. Got our leather worker over here, he's holding a bit of leather. Hello, give me a hug, thank you. And then we want to go over to, or just down the pathway over this way. This building is the weaponsmith and the toolsmith. So we've got the weaponsmith here, he's holding a sword and his eye patch. And then we've got our toolsmith here holding a shovel. I don't know if the grindstone is the correct workstation for the toolsmith. I was having major issues remembering what workstation was for what villager as well. So yeah, that was fun. If we cut across here, we've got another villager out in the open, which is our stonemason. He's over here with a pickaxe next to this little stone formation, and he's just being held in by a pane of glass, and then some green carpet with fences underneath to stop him from walking over. And if you're wondering how comes he's not burning, because all the way up there at build limit we've got a little 3x3 above his head, just in case he sort of ventures a little bit further out, just a little bit over the threshold. In this building we've got our librarian, who's always happy, jumping for joy that he's got his new home. We've got another villager, librarian villager, well, zombie villager over. I should really know this because it says zombie villager above their heads. Both of them two have a book and quill. By the way, I had to kill off so many of them because some of them were just refusing to hold items, and I wanted all of them holding items in sort of line with what their profession was. Before we venture further that way, let's go over here. This is our little wizards and mage tower, and we've got our cleric here holding a potion. I was also a little bit afraid that if I gave him a potion of throwing one day he'd be able to throw it, but that doesn't seem to be the case, and he's sort of held there. Again, grey carpets above fences with just a glass pane above their head, and he's our little dude who maintains our wizard's tower. And then we can go over to this area. We have got 3 farmer villagers. So we've got one out in the open here holding some seeds. He's the one who's meant to be planting this but got turned in the zombie apocalypse. Got another one holding wheat for our grindstone tower, where all of the wheat is. like I didn't, because I was like designing these buildings, obviously, first of all, not really with the intention of having a zombie village. I wanted to create my own custom village, and so then I had to zombify them all, and so they've all got pretty extensive interiors in all of the buildings, and they're interiors that you're never going to see in when you're walking around for the exhibit. By the way, this farmer has a minecart. He did have seeds, but for some reason he picked up a minecart in place of seeds, which I didn't realise was a thing that they would do. I thought that they would always favour a weapon over another weapon, but I didn't realise they would favour items over other items. But yeah, and I couldn't be asked to replace this one. I also didn't think of somewhere to have the Fletcher or the Butcher. I completely forgot about these two professions because, well, no one really uses them. A lot of people do use the Fletcher just for the stick trade, but Butchers, I don't think anyone's ever really used them. But yeah, so we just made a little room on the side of the secondary farming building. That's our main farming building. This is the secondary one, and we've just got like a smoker for the Butcher over here. He's holding some meat, and then we've got our Fletcher over here holding an arrow. Oh, but yeah, that's the extensive of that. That is every single profession, barring the nitwit. I could not get the villagers that I was breeding over its size to have a nitwit. I don't know if there's any way around forcing them to have a nitwit, or if it's just a numbers game. It may be something that I look into. I don't know if the zombie villager class of their profession changes if they're a nitwit or not. Like, I know that nitwits naturally can't get professions when you put workstations next to them. That's their whole point. They're like the village dummy. There is other bits and pieces. Did I just hear an enderman? There is other bits and pieces that I still want to do in this area, and I'll probably do them in between episodes, because they're not like really focal points. They're just like extra little details that I want to sort of add to the area. I also do need to have to put up a sign to indicate that this is now the zombie village enclosure area. But yeah, that's pretty much the sort of long and tall of the entire area. God, this build was so long to actually get done. We're talking of like 2.5 to 3 weeks worth of planning, building, and then it was about 7.5 hours after that last cut for me to get all of the zombie villagers in place. That is how long I spent messing around with them, and they're almost as annoying to deal with as normal villagers are, which is, yeah, who would have guessed. But I think that's going to be it for today's episode. Now, usually I'll end the episode off on going to spin our Wheel of Fortune to see what our next project is. Zombie, don't move up for this, I'm just going to leave that there. Yeah, usually I go and spin our Wheel of Fortune to see what our next main project is, but because this episode is probably going to be coming out towards like the run up towards Christmas, so I think for our next project we're probably just going to be focusing on doing a sort of Christmas-ish themed project rather than taking on another project on our project wall, because obviously we can't really roll the dice to see in the hopes that a Christmas project's going to come up, or a project that we can do from the board for a wintry theme in some way. I don't know. But yeah, I think we'll just focus on a sort of smaller scale build and something a little less intensive, because if I keep on doing projects to this sort of scale for just one of the zoo exhibits, oh my god, it's just, I'm not going to be able to get many episodes out at all if I keep on going so large scale. But hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.